Hello again, everyone. I'm Tom Dirato. Welcome to the Eddie Sutton Show. For the third time in the last 10 years, Oklahoma State will be heading east to open play in the NCAA's Big Dance. The Cowboys making their third straight appearance in the tournament, 8th since 1990-91, and 17th overall, will be the third seed in the East. Many, including yours truly, were pleasantly surprised when the seedings were announced. On our off-the-court feature, we'll bring you some reaction from Selection Sunday. OSU, number 14 in the final AP poll, played extremely hard at the Big 12 tournament and split a pair of games in Kansas City. We'll put the wraps on that get-together as well. And, of course, we'll look at the brackets. We have a lot to cover, so you stay with us. We're back after this opening timeout.
The Eddie Sutton Show is brought.
Well, welcome back to the show. Well, Eddie, I guess we can officially open March Madness now. Knee-deep into March Madness. Cowboys the third seed. We're going to see a little feature later on, a reaction. But your overall feeling?
Well, it's the greatest time of the year if you're a basketball fan, especially a college fan. And I think the NCAA tournament probably has developed into maybe the #1 sporting event in our country. When you know, there's so many sporting events where it comes and it's over so quickly, like the Kentucky Derby or the Super Bowl. But the NCAA tournament builds over a 3-week period, and anyone that likes hoops has to like this time of the year. And of course, we're excited about being in the NCAA tournament for the 8th time in the 10 years I've been back here at Oklahoma State. I think the squad was elated when they saw the third seed. And as you mentioned, we have gone east before. In fact, the last time we went to the Final Four, it was in '95, and Country and Randy and that group took us all the way to Seattle. So we'll be going to Buffalo this time to take on Hoster, the Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman in Buffalo. What a combination. We're going to talk a lot about NCAA tournament here as the show goes on, but we have some business we have to wrap up. So let's go to Kansas City and wrap up the Big 12 tournament. As I said, we ended up playing 2 tough, hard, intense ball games and split the pair. We'll open with the Kansas game.
Well, it seems like the 2 games with Kansas this year have been 2 of the best games that we've played. We beat them 33 points here, the worst defeat Roy's ever absorbed, and one of the worst Kansas ever has had placed on them. And then we came back in this game and won by 19. So that doesn't happen very often when you can beat Kansas, period, let alone beat them like we did. But our team really played well here. They shot well, they defended well, they rebounded well, they defended well at as far as taking away their transition game. Kansas, in order to beat you, in my opinion, has to get second opportunities off the board, or they've got to score points in transition, and our defense was just very, very good.
You just saw him handling the basketball, but let's talk about Fred right off the top. 30 rebounds in 2 games.
Well, we hope that he continues to play like he did in Kansas City. I thought it was just an outstanding performance, especially on the glass. 17 against Iowa State, 13 against Kansas. And in the game with Iowa State, he did a marvelous job on Pfizer. We held him to 19 points, and he'd been scoring in the 30s almost in every game up to that time.
Cowboys did a great job of playing arc defense against Kansas. You talked about some of the keys. And once again, I think as I'm looking down the road, Poshi had 1 3-pointer all day.
Well, good defensive work there by Gottlieb and Atkins, because they were the ones that covered him. A great pass.
Ooh.
Not only is it a great pass, it's a great catch. People don't realize how hard that is to catch a ball when you're flying through the air, but Desmond is just a remarkable athlete, and Doug is a remarkable passer, and here we see it again.
We've made a couple of those long-distance call-ups and connections over the years, and they have that special eye-to-eye contact when he knows it's coming their way, and Roy had to be an unhappy camper.
I've never seen Roy so upset as he went up the tunnel there at halftime to talk to his squad. Well, he's a little frustrated, probably like I'll be next year when I got all those youngsters. This team Kansas has is really talented, and a year from now you'll be surprised how much better they'll play the game.
And you see Doug on the drive, and we find out how fickle college basketball can be. 24 hours later, 2 or 3 of those drives, maybe 4 of those, rim in and out, don't go down.
There's another alley-oop pass to Desmond. Kansas will take on DePaul in the NCAA tournament. We were happy to get 6 teams in the NCAA tournament from the Big 12.
They found that 8 or 9 seed that we were so used to seeing the last couple of years.
They won't like that that team they have to play next after they beat DePaul. They got to take on the Blue Devils, but of course No, I'm wrong. That isn't who they'll play, is it?
Who's that? No, Duke will be in our division.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kansas won't, but they're in at 8-9, which means that they got to take on the number 1 seed.
And you better be ready for that. You see the score as we've been talking here. Basically, Oklahoma State took Kansas' best shot in the second half, but like a veteran team, and you're seeing down the stretch, converted.
We played it all the way to the end, and there you see me congratulating Roy and wishing him the very best. And as I said, I'm happy that we got 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. We were one of 3 conferences to do that. And I think all of the teams that are in the NCAA from our league, they have a chance to win the first game and maybe even move on.
Now, we win the Kansas game. Everybody's looking ahead 24 hours. When we came out of Ames, everybody would have liked another shot at Iowa State. Not a revenge factor, but just maybe, hey, let's see if we can do a little better. Well, as it turns out, we get another shot at Iowa State. Good news. Bad news is Iowa State's playing as well as anybody in the country.
They certainly are, and we were looking forward to this rematch with Iowa State. And again, we never talk about revenge. It's just the fact that they beat us, and we'd like to have a split on the year with them. That's what Desmond needs to do more of right there. Drive into that paint, either get all the way to the basket or stop and get on balance and shoot jump shots. And when you get in there, you're going to get fouled a lot, and he's an excellent free throw shooter. There's Doug driving to the basket, and he was able to penetrate the Cyclones' defense, but had a tendency to be a little careless in going up with those layups, and he must have missed 4 or 5 of them, which were really damaging. And he wasn't the only one. I think we missed 9 shots right underneath the basket. And there's their All-American and first team, I might add, All-American Pfizer, who probably is as good a college basketball player as there is in the country.
I'm not so sure that's not the best job you can do on a Marcus Pfizer. He had 19 points in the game, took 19 shots to get them.
Well, they're hitting a basket, but you're right. We had held him to 29, and that was the least number of points he had for about 7 or 8 games.
Right, yeah.
And then he came back, I think, and didn't hit in the 30s against Oklahoma in the championship game. But he's just an outstanding basketball player. Good drive by Joe. We have a tendency not to do enough of that. If you drive the ball in there, good things are going to happen. You're either going to get a shot or force help situations and then kick the ball off to your teammate.
Boy, this was a tough, in-your-face, intense NCAA tournament type of game.
I could not fault the effort of our ball club. I thought we really played hard in this game. We just turned the ball over too many times and maybe took some marginal shots. We ended up only shooting 33%, and you have to give their defense some credit, but we just took some shots that you just can't afford to take a bad shot or even a marginal shot against a quality opponent. Good rebound there by Brian, good putback. And the other thing, missing the easy shots underneath. And then I guess the other thing, we just, other than turnovers, missing easy shots, our defense had some breakdowns late in the ballgame when we had a chance to win it.
And I guess not an excuse, but in all fairness, when a lot of those breakdowns came up in the last couple of minutes of the game, the fact was Mason and Montanati were sitting over there with you.
2 of our best players over there next to me on the wood, and that's no good.
Cowboys hung right in here, though, and I think the biggest lead for either team in this game, to show you how hotly contested it was 5.
Well, there were people that came by after the game, people from ESPN and some other people that see a lot of college basketball, and they thought this was really a terrific game for television and for college hoops.
Well, it might have been a great game for television, and it might have been a great game for Iowa State fans. If you wanted Oklahoma State to win, it wasn't all that good.
But we had a chance. We fought back after trailing, for most of the game. Get out. We have a 4-point lead with a little over 2 minutes to go. Great rebound there, and this is a 3-pointer by Joe that puts us up 4 points. Mm-hmm. And we go down, and you can see great bench enthusiasm. At one time during the game, there was too much
enthusiasm. Well, here we have the ball, and here's where things started to turn around. There's Desmond's 5th foul.
Well, he got a good shot, and he just didn't use good judgment there when he went in and tried to steal the ball. And there Doug makes a big blunder by not getting back for defensive balance, letting a man get behind him. Johnson gets behind him instead of just letting him go. And we still have a 1-point lead. He fouled him, and Johnson hit the free throw to complete the 3-point play. There's what I'm talking about. There's a defensive breakdown. Anytime a man beats you on dribble penetration, somebody behind on your team's got to step over and stop that drive. And twice they're late. We didn't do that. So we showed that film to our squad earlier this week and told them that this is something that can happen when we get in the NCAA tournament. If it does, we're going to be coming back to Stillwater.
Well, obviously, as we wrap up the Big 12 tournament, the selection committee must have seen or known of the game and didn't penalize Oklahoma State very much for playing number 7 Iowa State right down to the wire.
I thought the game that we played Kansas really helped us a great deal, and the fact that we played Iowa State so tough, and I'm not sure that tournament committee wouldn't have been watching our ball game knowing that, and the game could have gone our way, that they didn't penalize us. They rewarded us because of the strength of our schedule, because of the strength of our conference, and we got a 3 seed, which I think surprised both you and me. I thought probably we were going to get a 4 seed, but we're elated that we really looked in good favor with the NCAA tournament committee.
Well, Selection Sunday is always one of the most exciting days of the year. We're going to take you out to Eddie Sutton's house and see how the Cowboys reacted when we return to the show. Stay with us. Pleasantly surprised would be a good way to describe reaction to the news Oklahoma State would be the 3rd seed in this year's NCAA East Regional. There's nothing like seeing your name go up on the board on Selection Sunday to energize everyone. We caught up with a few people at the team watch party, and as you'll be able to tell, the excitement was truly back.
Oklahoma State, a tough defensive team against Hofstra. They win on their home floor out of the American East. It's a pretty athletic team. They'll try to push the tempo against Oklahoma State.
You know, we're satisfied with this, and we get to go out to New York and play some more basketball. That's the main thing about it. Get to keep playing in March. The Big 12 teams it's a strong conference. I mean, we played hard this year, and you know, everybody showed how good they really are. So, you know, I think we're gonna give everybody a run for their money. I think that we got the chance to come out, and if we do the little things, you know, we're gonna do a lot of damage in this tournament. But we gotta take every opponent, take it day for day, and you know, focus on every opponent. You can't look past anybody. So, you know, if we go out and we just do the little things and do the things we know how to do, we get the job done.
We didn't know what to think. 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows? And obviously, our league has a lot of respect throughout the country, and they respect Coach Sutton tremendously and the job we did in the preseason. Play a lot of good teams, and now we, you know, are rewarded with the fact we got a 3 seed, and it's a lot better than an 8-9. And now we get to go to Buffalo and take our chances, and anything can happen now. As you all know, I mean, you've been doing this for so long. You've seen teams come and go, and we got seniors who played 4 games in the NCAA tournament, and it's time to start winning some games to get past that hump in the second round. Overall, we had a great year, and we really won some big basketball games in some pressure environments, whether it's at home or on the road at, say, Missouri or, you know, at Oklahoma. And when you do that, you get rewarded for it. And these guys have worked really hard as a team, and we've done everything together, and we've done the right things on and off the court. And now I think a 3 seed kind of rewards us for the type of year we put in. And now we have to give back to the tournament committee. They put us a 3 seed because they expect us to play the 2 seed in the Sweet 16. We have to win 2 games to do that, and 2 very good teams. And so I'm just excited.
We're real pumped. You know, we got a chance to go a long ways in the tournament and do some great things, you know, for the university and our fans and everything. So it's kind of a turning point for us. You know, we had a frustrating last week and a half, but now, you know, we're re-energized, and everybody's 0-0. We had a great year, and we had a couple of disappointing losses here and there, but, you know, overall we did have a good year, and we stayed together, and we fought to the end. And, you know, they rewarded us with a 3 seed in the East, so we just got to, you know, take advantage of it and see how far we can go. This is our last go-around, and we got to, like I said before, we got a great opportunity to go a long ways in the tournament and do some terrific things. We just got to, you know, stay positive and stay with each other as a unit, and, you know, just build on a win and take it into the next win.
Going back east has really been good for Oklahoma State since your dad arrived.
This will be the 3rd time, you know, in the 8 years that we've gone to the NCAA tournament, the last 10 years, I guess, that we're going east. And like you said, Tom, we've done very well in the East. I remember my junior year at Oklahoma State. We went to Baltimore and I guess to College Park, Maryland, and played New Mexico, North Carolina State, and advanced to the Sweet 16, and then went back to the East to Baltimore in '95 and beat Drexel and Alabama, advanced to the Sweet 16 in East Rutherford, and eventually beat Wake Forest and UMass. So the East has been lucky for us. We'll hope a 3rd time's a charm.
The team was excited, and
the pizza tasted much better after the selection went up.
It was a lot better. Yeah, I agree with that. But, you know, the thing I told our squad this week, you got to take the NCAA. It comes in 3 different weeks. If you really go all the way to the Final Four, you take that first week and you concentrate all your efforts on those 4 teams. We're one of them, the other 3 teams. So you have a coach take each one of those teams, look at film, get a scouting report put together. The main emphasis is on Hofstra because that's our first round opponent. Then you look at Pepperdine, you look at Indiana. Now, if you win 2 games, now you concentrate your efforts on who you play in Syracuse. Forget about what everybody else is doing. You're cheering for some of your former coaches that have teams in the NCAA. You're cheering for all the Big 12 teams. But your main concentration's got to be just on who you play next.
Well, we're going to take a look at Hofstra and the rest of the East Regional when we return to the Eddie Sutton Show. Well, welcome back to the show. We wanted to start that out one time this year. See that ball knock over the light? We only have one item in the reporter's notebook, and this is not the Ville that you're going to be the mayor of someday. But we're going to talk about the brackets now, and let's just kind of zero in on our first matchup of the night. Friday night, 6:40 Oklahoma time, Hofstra, Oklahoma State.
Hofstra really is a good basketball team. Their head coach was with Massimino at Villanova for a long time. They're very sound in everything they do. They won 17 out of their last 18 games. They got Claxton, who's one of the outstanding guards we have in college basketball. It's going to be a tough assignment. We get by that one, we either play Pepperdine or the University of Indiana. You got the Ducks from Oregon playing Seton Hall, and Temple, the number 2 seed, taking on Lafayette. Tough bracket.
Now, we can reverse it around and go look at the other half of that East Regional. I think a regional that most people feel like is very representative, and when you have a Duke in there, that's tough.
Well, Duke takes on Lamar, and I don't think that will be much of a ball game, but Kansas and DePaul, that will be a great game.
The 8 and 9 matchup.
And I'm sure that Kansas doesn't really like that 8-9 because we were there the last 2 seasons. Florida, John Pelfrey, one of my former assistant coaches, assistant at Florida, taking on Butler. And Robish, Scott Robish, plays for Butler, who was a player here with us. And the University of Illinois takes on the University of Pennsylvania, the Ivy League champs. So there's the East bracket, or the East Regional, is as tough as any regional of the 4.
You would tell me, a lot of your former schools in the NCAA tournament.
Creighton's in there. They play Auburn. Dana Altman's done a great job with that ball club. The University of Arkansas, a Cinderella team, they go down to the SEC, win 4 games in a row, and they play one of my former assistants and a former head coach here at Oklahoma State. The Razorbacks take on the University of Miami. And then, of course, the other school where I coached,
How about Kentucky?
Tubby's got his ball club back in there. So it'll be interesting. Former assistant coaches, now head coaches running their own
They're
program.
all over the place on that tournament bracket.
So, not only will we be watching what we're doing, I'll be watching what those other guys do along with the other 5 schools in our league.
We got a question of the week, quick one to answer here. I don't know if you'll know the answer about this floor. It's at least supposed to stay there, isn't it?
Trey, that's a great question, and I fought very hard. Yeah.
Look at this. You know, your extended family over here at ETS wanted to not only wish you good luck, but also happy birthday, too.
Well, thank you. What a beautiful cake, and thank you so much.
You understand the fire marshal would not let us put candles on that.
I understand. Hey, I ceased to have birthdays. Didn't you know that? From now on, I go backwards. That's what Abe Lemons told me once. When you get to a certain age, you go backwards.
The next time we cut this cake will be in Indianapolis.
Okay.
That would be nice.
Thank you so much.
You know, we had asked him to show up in his elf suit, but he wouldn't do it this time.
That elf has died.
That elf is over? Well, take a look at that cake right there, because everybody's going to get a chance to eat it. And this is, again, good luck, happy birthday, all in one right there. We're glad you guys could come along and enjoy it with us.
Thank you for sharing my birthday and for the wonderful cake.
And maybe we'll take you a piece back from Buffalo, maybe as frozen as it may be.
We'll take it.
Okay, that's all the time we have for this week's show. For Eddie Sutton, our entire crew, and I mean the entire crew here at Educational Television Services, Tom Dirato. Goodbye, everybody.
The Eddie Sutton Show has been brought to you by Jeep and your local Jeep.